Bulginaka, do you know that cybercrime is becoming a growing problem in Fiji?
Cybercrime is defined as a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime, such as hacking and spamming.
Cybercrime is also cyberbullying and using fake profiles to cause panic and spreading false news.
If you're involved in this or know anyone who's committing these crimes, report them immediately.
I'm Polly.
And I'm Peter.
We host the Traffic Jam Show on City FM.
From 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every weekday.
Do the right thing.
And Abhinaka, Fiji, in this bulletin, PM assures assistance to those affected by TC Sarai. Dalo farmer disheartened by loss. And New Year's baby, a mother's joy.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Edwin Nunn.
The Prime Minister is determined to provide assistance to those Fijians whose homes were battered by Tropical Cyclone Sarai. In his New Year's address, Voreqe Bainimarama says all relevant government branches are currently working to normalize essential services. The Prime Minister says TC Sarai is yet another call to strengthen the country's resilience to natural disasters. Bainimarama adds his government prioritizes the well-being of all Fijians.
I want every Fijian to know that I will never stop fighting to protect our well-being and our progress from the increasing frequency and intensity of these storms. We will build our resilience. We will support you in recovering and rebuilding. We will make the special effort to protect our children, the elderly, and those living with disabilities.
The Fiji Revenue and Customs Service will be monitoring the main ports of entry to ensure there is no import of plastic bags. The ban on single-use plastic bags is now in effect and compliance is already high. Koroi Tandulala reports.
The Fiji Revenue and Customs team are currently at our main port of entry to ensure those travelling to and from abroad adhere to the ban in place.
Customs team will look at any importation of thin single-use plastics being imported. They are now classed as prohibited, so the customs team will stop it at the borders. And in fact, I would encourage importers not to even bring it in because, then it carries the disposal expense and other things.
Fijians are now resorting to cartons to pack their groceries as supermarkets are no longer issuing plastic bags.
In supermarkets, if you do, for example, do your shopping there, and if you do not want to, buy the reusable bag which is sold in there, you have the option of using perhaps cartons. You have the options of using nothing, if you're just carrying one or two items.
Climate justice activist Laveta Nalangiseru says this will allow the younger generation to tap into the slow-fading art of basket weaving to help replace the use of plastic bags.
This plastic ban will change the behaviors and attitudes of how people see the environment as a core part, as an integral part of their life.
The ban on the single-use plastic bag is the first step towards a more greener environment as the government aims to ban the use of styrofoam containers and plastic straw by next year. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
The Ministry of Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation has warned the public to beware of people impersonating social welfare offices. The ministry highlights there are some people going around in communities claiming that the government, through the Ministry of Women, is giving funds for Christmas and New Year's spending to the amount of $1,000. Permanent Secretary for the ministry says some of these impersonators are asking the public to pay a fee of $90 to $150 for the processing of a promised Tropical Sarai fund amounting to $9,000. In market surveillance following TC Sarai, the Consumer Council of Fiji has found defrosted and discolored meat in storage freezers of supermarkets. Council Chief Executive Seema Shandil says the supermarkets have been advised to separate this meat and ensure that it is destroyed. The council is urging consumers to be careful and inspect any meat or products which may be selling at low prices during this time, as some part of the country were affected by Tropical Cyclone Sarai in the last few days. The council is warning traders to refrain from selling food or other perishables which have gone bad due to the electricity disruption. A stern warning is being issued to supermarkets, butcheries and food retailers to destroy food items and meat that has been thawed and become unsafe for human consumption. 365 traffic infringement notices were issued on New Year's Eve. Director Traffic SSP Mahesh Mishra says they intercepted 5,593 vehicles with no drunk driving arrests in the Central Division. SSP Mishra says, however, 4 drivers from the Western Division were arrested for drunk driving. 123 people have been charged for speeding, 12 for careless driving and 17 for not wearing seat belts. He adds more breathalyzer tests and stop checks will be done in the next few days. The National Fire Authority is urging Fijians to exercise caution when dealing with flammable materials. The authority received several fire alerts within hours of welcoming in the new year. Chief Fire Officer Ngionilao Modaitai is seeking public support and collaboration in an effort to minimize fires in 2020.
We have to take extra care as we in the first day of year 2020, and it is our prayer that from NFA point of view that we have to take advantage of all the fire safety tips that we always provided by NFA in order to avoid fire in the dwelling house.
45-year-old Moape Mbatingai, a fire in Sawani, says he cannot believe the devastating impact of TC Sarai on his farm. Mbatingai says the loss is shocking because he was just days away from a harvest.
Trying to pick up what's left in his Ndalo farm, Moape Mbatingai has expressed his disappointment.
I planted about 4,000 ndalo on this farm. When I came back after the cyclone, I saw that over 1,000 ndalo was washed away by the rising flood waters. I think maybe in the next few days, more root crops will die out.
Farming is his main source of income, and now he will have to look for alternatives to pay for his kids' education.
I don't have any other work, and this is my main source of income. And I don't know where else to get the money to pay for my children's education because all these ndalo are ready for harvest.
Mbatingai says he will try and make up for what he lost during TC Sarai.
With everything that has been damaged, including the fence, the damage cost is well over $2,000, and I'm really upset by this.
Mbatingai is seeking the assistance of the Ministry of Agriculture. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
A mother's wish of having a baby boy was granted on New Year's Day. 32-year-old Siteri Rambativesi gave birth at CWM Hospital in Suva just hours into 2020. Rambativesi has 2 daughters and longed for a son. Both mother and son are in good health.
I'm excited, super excited about having a baby boy because so far I've had girls all along, and this would be my first baby boy. Go home, relax, that's it, and enjoy my baby.
Coming up, behavioral change vital for Fiji Sevens. And Bati Stars expected for Eels in round 1 of the NRL.
O ira na ngone no de nunu ena be singa ni mataka.
Mersi sunga da kena loma dina kena mikron.
Sakena ngau na mitar lo bina na ba sanga ka ba lo mataki na ngone. Dala bina o ya o meliki.
Bulre o ya Samuel Samuli.
Nama kikirau ena be mataka.
Boniti kina bagrombuka.
Ni boy tini kalima na miniti me ona kina tini na kaloko. Ena Radio Fiji One na ndomo ibiti.
Indaw kina na mataka. Dan ramay na singabo.
Welcome back. There are lots of things happening behind the scenes to make sure the Fiji Airways men's 7 side achieves its goals for the season. It must have been a disastrous start to the new World Series in Dubai last month, but head coach Gareth Baber says as a team they are still hurting and will have to move on.
The national coach says behavioral change was missing after reviewing the team's performances in Dubai and South Africa.
That's what we would have looked at as a management, is to ensure that we're being as effective as we possibly can in our coaching, our management of the players, the discipline of the players, and all that, is about behavioural change. And we didn't see that in Dubai and South Africa. And, obviously our desire as a management and a playing group is to ensure that we do learn from that and we do move forward with it.
Baber says the coaching staff and team management, together with the players, recognize their defense, restarts and discipline as the three main issues as well that led to their downfall in the last two tournaments.
Not getting too carried away when you've won and not being too despondent when you've lost, and bringing the realities of why that's happened and facing up to and having good and open discussions with management to ensure that you are learning and moving on. And you know, as you go through a year, it's important to keep those sort of milestones, that you make sure that you do learn from them.
The Fiji Sevens team will start their camp tomorrow to prepare for the next tournament in Hamilton, New Zealand in 2 weeks' time. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
4 players with links to Fiji are expected to start for the Parramatta Eels in round 1 of the NRL. The Eels will kickstart the 2020 season against the Bulldogs on March 12th, with Fiji Mbathi stars Maika Sivo and Wanga Blake both predicted by NRL.com to start alongside Australian forward Regan Campbell-Gillard. Kane Evans has been included in the match day 17 as one of the interchange players. However, Soward says if Campbell-Gillard and Kane Evans are to come off the bench, it would be scary for opposition teams. Australian Rugby League legend Cameron Smith made history last season as the first player to reach 400 NRL games, and the Storm captain is on the verge of another unprecedented achievement in 2020. She began 2019 as a relatively unknown in the world of sport, but 15-year-old Coco Gauff is now heading to the ASP Tennis Classics in Auckland, New Zealand as one of the most famous young stars on the planet. Expect fine conditions over most places today. And that's your FBC Morning News. Remember to join us at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. for our major bulletin for these stories and others. You can also tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. That's it from me for now. Have a good morning.
हमारे खूबसूरत देश फिजी में चाइल्ड अब्यूज की घटनाएं आए दिन बढ़ रही हैं।
क्यों बच्चों का मासूम बचपन अब्यूज का शिकार हो जाता है?
अपने बच्चों की सुरक्षा का खास ख्याल रखें।
उनसे बातचीत करें, उनके दोस्तों के बारे में जानें।
आज के बच्चे देश का भविष्य है। मैं दीप्ति
और मैं मोनिश,
आपके हमसफर। शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
5:45 AM से 10 AM तक
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर।